The night ocean is calm, almost deceptively so. Somewhere beyond the horizon, hidden by darkness and distance, a massive shape cuts through the water in near silence. No smoke, no roar of engines, just the steady, unstoppable rhythm of nuclear power pushing 100,000 tons of steel forward. This is not a ship sailing through history, it is history being written in real time. And emblazoned across its hull is a name that once challenged the world itself: John F. Kennedy. When Kennedy declared, "We choose to go to the moon," he wasn't promising a destination, he was issuing a warning, a message wrapped in inspiration but sharpened by rivalry. The Cold War was raging, technology was the battlefield, and whoever mastered the future would dominate the present. That philosophy did not die with Apollo. It evolved, it hardened, and today it sails the seas as CVN-79, a supercarrier built not just to fight wars, but to intimidate the future itself. Yet this time, the enemy is different. Smaller, faster, smarter, invisible until it's too late. This is the age of hypersonic missiles that scream through the atmosphere at Mach 10, of autonomous drone swarms that overwhelm defenses like clouds of steel locusts, of satellites that never blink, cyber weapons that strike without warning, and battlefields where algorithms make kill decisions in milliseconds. In this new era, one question hangs over the oceans like a storm cloud. Can the largest warship ever built survive in a world designed to destroy giants? To understand what's at stake, you have to go back, not years, but a century. In 1922, when Japan commissioned the world's first aircraft carrier, few understood what had just changed. Battleships still ruled the seas, big guns, thick armor, slow, unstoppable power. But carriers introduced something terrifyingly new: distance. Suddenly, ships could be destroyed by aircraft launched from beyond the horizon. World War II would turn this theory into brutal reality. Pearl Harbor, Midway, the Pacific Campaign. Aircraft carriers didn't just participate, they decided outcomes. They shattered empires. From that moment on, the aircraft carrier became the ultimate symbol of dominance. Wherever one sailed, air power followed. Bases were no longer tied to land. Power could arrive uninvited, stay indefinitely, and strike without warning. For decades, American carriers became the backbone of global order. Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf War, Iraq, Afghanistan. Again and again, when crisis erupted, the same question echoed through intelligence rooms and presidential briefings: where is the nearest carrier? But dominance breeds challengers. As America's carriers grew larger and more powerful, rivals searched for ways to kill them, not ship for ship, not fleet for fleet, but asymmetrically. Missiles instead of navies, sensors instead of sailors, precision instead of brute force. China's DF-21D and DF-26 anti-ship ballistic missiles earned a chilling nickname: carrier killers. Russia pushed hypersonic glide vehicles designed to evade every known defense. Suddenly, the carrier, once untouchable, had a target painted on it. And this is the story of the Gerald R. Ford class. The U.S. Navy didn't respond by retreating, it responded by escalating, technologically, financially, and philosophically. The Ford class was never meant to be an upgrade, it was meant to be a reset, a declaration that the aircraft carrier would not adapt slowly, it would leap forward. The scale alone borders on surreal. 3 football fields long, wider than a Boeing 747's wingspan, taller than castles built to impress medieval kings. But size is only the illusion. The real power is invisible. Deep inside CVN-79 are two A-1B nuclear reactors, each more powerful than anything ever installed on a warship. Together, they generate 700 megawatts of thermal energy, enough to power a small city. This isn't excess, it's preparation, because the wars of tomorrow don't just consume fuel, they consume electricity. That electricity feeds the heart of the revolution, electromagnetism. For decades, aircraft were hurled into the sky using steam catapults, violent, maintenance-heavy systems that punished airframes and limited flexibility. CVN-79 tears that legacy apart. In its place is EMALS, the electromagnetic aircraft launch system. Silent, precise, ruthlessly efficient. Fighters glide into launch position, and in seconds, electromagnetic force accelerates them forward with calculated perfection. Less stress, faster cycles, more launches, more survivability. But the real game changer isn't what EMALS launches, it's what it enables. This ship is built for a sky that no longer belongs exclusively to pilots. Drones now dominate reconnaissance, refueling, surveillance, and soon, strike missions. The MQ-25 Stingray doesn't fire weapons, it extends reach. It allows fighters to strike hundreds of miles farther into enemy territory. And CVN-79 is optimized for this unmanned future. Its advanced arresting gear replaces hydraulics with turbo-electric systems capable of gently catching lightweight UAVs that older carriers would destroy. This ship is not a ship resisting change, it is a ship designed around it. Below deck, another revolution unfolds. Weapons once crawled upward through cramped elevators, crossing flight paths, creating deadly bottlenecks. On CVN-79, 11 electromagnetic weapons elevators move 24,000-pound payloads at astonishing speed, bypassing critical zones entirely. Bombs and missiles flow like blood through arteries, fast, uninterrupted, relentless. Aircraft that once waited hours for rearming now return to the sky in minutes. The result? A terrifying statistic. 270 sorties per day. That is not air power, that is saturation. That is the ability to overwhelm defenses, exhaust enemy sensors, and dominate the battle space through sheer operational tempo. Even in sustained war, CVN-79 can maintain over 160 sorties daily for months. Few nations on Earth could survive that pressure. And what flies from its deck is equally lethal. F-35 Lightning II stealth fighters don't just attack, they see. They fuse sensor data across the fleet. They act as airborne command nodes. Super Hornets deliver payloads with reliability proven by decades. Growlers silence enemy radars before missiles ever launch. Eyehawks watch everything. Seahawks hunt submarines lurking below. This isn't an air wing, it's an ecosystem. But power invites retaliation. To survive, CVN-79 wears layers of steel and software. Evolved Sea Sparrow missiles, rolling airframe missiles, Phalanx CIS firing walls of tungsten at incoming threats, autocannons, machine guns, sensors tracking targets faster than human reaction time. Its Enterprise Air Surveillance Radar sacrifices legacy prestige for fleet-wide efficiency, saving hundreds of millions while tightening integration across the Navy. And then there's what comes next: lasers. No reloads, no recoil, no warning. Systems like Helios have already proven they can destroy drones and missiles at the speed of light. On a carrier with excess electrical power, directed energy weapons transform defense economics. A $10 missile intercepted by a few dollars worth of electricity. This is how giants survive in a world of cheap killers. As CVN-79 nears commissioning, expected by the end of 2025, it becomes a cornerstone of a Navy planning for 2050 and beyond. 381 ships, 12 supercarriers, global presence without pause. But beneath the steel and spectacle lies the unanswered truth. No matter how advanced, no ship is invincible. Satellites watch, missiles wait, algorithms calculate. The ocean is no longer empty, it is transparent. And in that transparency, the aircraft carrier faces its greatest test yet. Is CVN-79 the ultimate adaptation, a floating proof that dominance can evolve faster than threats? Or is it the most magnificent target ever built? That answer won't come from blueprints or budgets. It will come the day the first real shot is